I think we're just going to try to wing it on this one. We'll see what happens. What's going on, guys? It's Matt from Iron Mind and Iron Body, and I'm coming at you with a video. I was lifting weights and I hit some PBs today, which felt great. It's always a good feeling when you hit a personal best, right? When you're pushing and you're striving and you're working towards something and you get it. Very similar to something like maybe in Randori, you hit a sick Ippon Nagi, right? Which is like a throw for those non-judo guys. Or if you're doing Taekwondo and you land a sick spin kick, right? It's a real cool feeling. And it made me wonder, there's two things, like it just got my brain going. And it made me realize that there's two things that every martial artist should do on top of their martial arts, in my opinion, right? The first one is going to be obvious to everyone. If you're training for sport, or if you're training because you want to be sure that you're tough on the streets, or if there's a bully at school and you feel like maybe you want to be able to defend yourself if something happens, whatever your reason is, the number one thing that you should do with martial arts is, of course, lift weights. It's kind of a no-brainer, right? You be stronger. You don't have to be bigger necessarily, right? You don't have to bulk on, but being able to do lots of chin-ups, being able to do lots of push-ups, you know, these just basic lifting criteria that I think every martial artist should learn. Because if you have a black belt who can do all the right kata and all the techniques, but can only bench 100 pounds, and you have a blue belt who can bench 200 pounds, you know, 3 times for max rep, whatever it is, well, that guy's twice as strong, you know what I mean, as the black belt, right? And I'm not discouraging that black belt. Like, he should do that too. Like, it's good for him to get the belt, good for him to learn all the moves, learn all the kata, and all that stuff. However, you will be better. That blue belt will be better when he gets black belt. You know what I'm saying? It's just, being stronger is only a plus. It's only a plus. And if you're a small guy like me, you just need to kind of, you can get good with technique, you can keep doing your thing, but at a certain point, you're going to say, look, man, I got to start being a little bit stronger. It's just going to help your game. That's something I had to bite. I had to bite that bullet and said, man, I'm pretty good, but if I want to get better, I better start doing some chin-ups and some bench press and some deadlifts, you know? And it's been tremendous. I'm at that point where it's finally helping my game, right? It's got that 2-month period of just like, this sucks, but once you get into the groove of things, I started eating better, etc. So that's the first one, and it's kind of obvious, right? But I truly believe this, and I have some examples of what maybe other people, but the second one's going to maybe sound like almost kind of weird, right? But it's not. It's reading, right? Read books, and they don't have to be martial arts. I would recommend this one, Living the Martial Way. Forrest E. Morgan, Lieutenant Colonel, retired. He's a vet. This guy's awesome. Really good book. Really interesting. It did come out pre-UFC 1, so there's some things to consider in that. But all the principles are there. He says if you started with Taekwondo, you should take up Judo. It's very traditional. So the main martial arts that he refers to is Karate, Taekwondo, Aikido, and Judo. And I think Jiu-Jitsu, but I think he's referring to Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. He doesn't ever say like Brazilian. He never mentions Muay Thai, but that doesn't matter, right? Like the ideas and the principles of this book, they're really good. But there's just like some things where you're like, okay, well, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, we've seen how fights work now. You know what I mean? The UFC kind of changed a lot of how it doesn't matter. The point is, I definitely think that martial artists should read. Their mind is a muscle. The mind needs to be sharpened and strengthened, and much like a muscle, you need to work your brain to get stronger or smarter in this case. I guess that's how we measure how your brain works, how fast it can be, how it can get those neurons firing and such. An example of this, of course, and it's kind of obvious, is Bruce Lee, right? Like, everyone remembers Bruce Lee for two things. He was a martial artist, duh, and he was an actor, duh. You know what I mean? Like, the other thing that Bruce Lee was a philosopher. The whole concept of be like water is a philosophy. It's something that he came up with when he was trying to understand why he was struggling with his Wing Chun. At the time, that's what he was doing. And it came to the idea that water can move, it can crash, it can be hard, it can be soft, right? And it's very, very loose. It can be mobile. It's very adaptive. Water is adaptive, is usually the word I would use. And when before the pandemic happened and I was doing judo, you really have to do that. You have to be like water. When you're moving, you're flowing, you don't want to show too much, and then when the right time happens, they take one step and you sweep their foot and they react, they move, boom, that's when you go for ogoshi. That's when you go for osotogari. And I just found that to be kind of interesting, because I wonder how many martial artists, like, I know when I was young, I didn't read that much. Like, I'm just kind of getting back into reading books as an adult. Not just for school either. Now that I'm back in school. Yeah, so I don't know. What do you guys think? Is there anyone out there who agrees with me? If so, please let me know. What are you reading? What's a martial arts book do you read? Do you read the just martial arts books, or do you read, like, I don't know, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings? Like, what is it? Like, anything. I think all reading is just good for you. I think it's good for your mind. And why do you think this channel is called Iron Mind and Iron Body, guys? It's because we need to strengthen both. They are the same. The yin and the yang, they're all connected. Strong mind, strong body. Strong body, strong mind. Have fun out there. Train hard, train safe. Have a good one, guys.